It's Meal Prep Friday, and tonight we're going to be making a low-carb chicken carbonara. But first I want to go ahead and cook my spaghetti squash inside of my Instant Pot to save me time. Otherwise it'll take you about 40 minutes to bake it in the oven. So I'm going to show you how to de-seed it, how I cut it, and put it inside of the Instant Pot, and it'll cook in about 20 minutes. So let's get this part started. So for this part, what you're going to need is a bowl to go ahead and deposit your seeds. You'll need a spoon to carve out the seeds, and you're just going to need a small knife. Some people cut it the lengthways when they're putting it into the oven, but it works best to do it this way for the Instant Pot. So I'm just going to make a small little pierce directly in the middle, and what I'm going to do is point the slit downward so I don't cut myself. And you just want to make like a small slicing motion down. And then as you do it, the squash will start cracking even more, and it kind of just helps you out. But you can hear it cracking. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and clean that out. You just take your spoon and you carve it out, just like when you're carving pumpkins. So now we have both of our halves of spaghetti squash carved out. So then what you want to do is we're going to put our little handy dandy trivet inside of the Instant Pot. You're going to put about a cup of water and place the spaghetti squash inside on the trivet. If they don't fit facing up, you can tilt one, slant them however you need to. It's okay. They don't have to be totally resting on the trivet as long as they're both just inside the Instant Pot. So you're gonna put the lid on. You're gonna make sure that you turn the vent to sealed, and then we're gonna go ahead and press the manual button. You're going to bump it up to 8 minutes, and that's it. So it'll take about 20 minutes or so to cook, and then once it's done cooking, we will begin the rest of the recipe. So for this part, I have a skillet on medium-high heat. I'm putting in a little bit of, this is sunflower oil. You need just some kind of high heat oil. Here I just have, this is 13 ounces of diced chicken. And then we're gonna need to get our next ingredients ready. You're gonna need, I'm doubling mine again, so it says that I need 4 ounces of mushrooms. I think this is a little bit more than 4 ounces. That's okay. And then it says to use diced tomatoes. I didn't have any diced tomatoes, so I'm just using canned diced tomatoes. I think they were talking about fresh whole tomatoes. Peas, my bag is already open, so we're just gonna use those. You're gonna need some garlic. You're gonna need a little bit of milk and some white wine. Okay, so it says you're supposed to use arrowroot starch, but I don't have that. But I do have some xanthan gum from back from my keto days. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if we can use that instead. So I'm just gonna put a little bit in there and see if it'll help thicken it. I'm gonna go ahead and get my spaghetti squash plated. I'm just gonna do half of the spaghetti squash. The carbonara is now boiling. I cranked it up to medium high, but now I just lowered it back to medium. And we're just gonna let it simmer again to see if it thickens up. I poured the sauce into a large measuring bowl, I guess, that I had, and it made 2 cups. So now I know that 1 serving is gonna be 1 cup of this sauce. So there's the sauce on top of the spaghetti squash. So now I'm just going to go ahead and add my chicken. That looks about half. So now to see if it tastes good. I would probably give it a 3. It's pretty average tasting. It's kind of bland actually. I think it maybe needed more salt, more pepper. You can taste the wine. You don't really taste the garlic much. It's pretty plain. It's edible because I'm starving, but I'm not sure if I would make it again. So there you have it. Muscle and Strength's low carb chicken carbonara. I have really come to the conclusion that I hate it. I just think it tastes awful. And the only way that I'm getting through this thing right now is by putting some of this chimichurri, I don't know, Tony's chimichurri, I don't know how you say it, Creole seasoning over it. Even though it's not seafood based, for some reason I can get through. I thought about putting sriracha on it, but this seems to be working okay. It's just not a good recipe. I'm really disappointed that I tried it, but at least now you all that are watching this, if you decided you wanted to try some muscle and strength recipes, maybe avoid this one.